Hello everyone, welcome to the Great White North. Stutter here. Last week I tried getting a little bit of money and starting a build on a garage, but that was, I think, a little too ambitious. So I think this week what I'm going to try to do is I might get to that again, but I think I need to put that on pause. I had to do a lot of digging in order to get enough money to just do a few small ones. So what I ended up doing offline, because I thought it might be boring to dig, on a recorded episode without me actually knowing how to do video editing or anything. So I started digging out some of this stuff. So you'll see that I've got quite a bit out of here right now. And so I ended up getting that done, which is great because now I've got a little bit of stuff built up here that I can now spend or turn in for money. But what I ended up finding in doing that was that it annoyed me at the realization that this is happening. So, as you can see, I did a lot of digging, so I got a lot of materials, which is great. The only thing is that this, it would be much nicer to be able to sell them as ingots and not ore. So what I thought I would do is this week, I'm going to gather up all the things that I can sell at the moment and purchase some upgrades and upgrade this semi-temporary setup that I've got here and modify it to make sure that I can actually do the aluminum ore. I had been thinking about that and I ended up realizing that if I did some tweaks to this, I should be able to reroute this and do a secondary filtering so that I can still get the iron out of it. Now that I'm thinking of it, I'm wondering whether I should do the only issue that I end up having is that I wanted to get iron out first, which right now it's gonna do iron anyways. So I'm wondering whether, yeah, I'm gonna scrap the original idea. Sorry, I'm all over everywhere. I might do the original plan that I ended up having and flip this around so that the steel is made instead of iron. So I don't really have a use for iron even when I'm making stuff, so I think that it's kind of pointless to build up iron at this stage. Steel would be a better production anyway. So let's sell this stuff at first anyways, and we'll get some cash going. Which, that's a nice amount of cash. So, but with this, I might actually be able to get away with not actually having to do too much. Okay, so what I want first is this needs to do I need to do the high temp sorter first and then the metal sorter. So high temp sorter first and then the metal sorter. But with that, since the high temp stuff needs to go first, this is not going to be possible, because that's a regular smelter. And this needs to swap out. No, this. Yeah, so this. I did that wrong. So, either way. Okay. So, the first thing that is filtering out the back here is high temp stuff. So, I need the high temp sorter to go here. Which this should still be the same. Because the bar processing should be exactly the same regardless of what this is. So now this is filtering out high temp stuff. This is filtering out low temp stuff. So low temp stuff needs to go here. And then what's left over? Should be just like dirt and stuff, right? Let's double check this. Production. So the high temp sorter filters out iron, aluminum ore, and silicon ore, which is great. So that's gonna go through that. And then this is gonna end up going through the high temp sorter, or the high temp smelter, right? Because that's the high temp stuff. Then the metal sorter is gonna take out iron ore, copper ore, aluminum ore, silver, and lithium. And that's gonna end up going through that. So what's left over? I don't think anything's left over. So maybe I just need to do this and just do a storage. Yeah, so we'll do a storage, and then if something else ends up being needed to filter or process, I'll deal with it then. So let's test out if this works first. And we'll do that. Consume. So that theoretically should be processing aluminum through here. And it looks like they fixed. So at one point in time you couldn't do this. You had to if you changed out stuff, you actually had to replace all of it and redo it, but I guess that's fixed now, so that's working. Perfect, so it's doing the aluminum. Theoretically, this should be doing everything else, but I don't have anything to test with that. And then, theoretically, this stuff should be just in here. So let's do this. Oh, change that grid build. We'll do that. I'm just gonna clean this up here by hand. No point in getting... This is just temporary. Well, I keep saying that. It's nothing more temporary than a... Nothing more permanent than a temporary solution. I think that's how it goes. So there. I'll get these things going. So theoretically, the dirt and ruby and diamond stuff should be showing up here, and then everything else should be sorted, I think, provided I ended up doing it right, which that might be the biggest concern. I'm just gonna sell this for now. I actually didn't really want to sell the coal, but I guess I've sold it now. Alright. Now, let's test this out. And see if this worked. I'm gonna get a good scoop of this stuff here. Hopefully we'll get this. Alright. Scoop of that. Autosave will be soon. Hopefully it won't glitch out. And then I'm gonna get a scoop of this stuff here. It should... should theoretically give me enough of a test of all of the materials that I want to capture at this moment in time. Oops, wrong button. Nope. I guess we'll maybe do another scoop of the coal and see if it sorts that stuff out correctly as well. I mean, I don't need to dig a ton of it, but... Nope, that's not what I wanted. Nope, stay upright. Thank you. Yeah, so I'll do a scoop of coal and see if that all sorts correctly and processes everything correctly. Alright. Oh, that was blinding. Alright. What do we got here? We have gold ore. Gold ore is being put into here. So I do need to put the smelter and the bar roller in here to be able to process the gold ore. Okay. That was the reason why I had that. So lithium is coming out here correctly. We got aluminum, we got silicon, and we got steel. So that is working correctly there. This is working correctly here. The only thing that I need to do is we'll sell this stuff first. Get that done, and then we'll not sell that stuff. And then do this, and then put the smelter there, bar roller there, and then that goes there, and then since that thing's wider than that, I'll put that there, and that should be enough. So let's do ruby ore. Diamond ore here. And just to make sure that everything tests okay, I'm gonna put this there and consume. And then theoretically, I should see some, yep, there we go. So we got some bars going through there, so that's our gold. Perfect. Awesome. So that is all that taken care of. And I'm just gonna, should I keep the coal? Nah, let's dump it for now. Okay. So that is the semi-temporary factory fixed, and so I won't need to do anything special now to get, well, maybe exception of that stuff. No, I probably should move that there. Whatever. Leave it. Leave it. I don't want to spend so much time on that. Okay, now that that is done, we should have some more time. Sip coffee. Should have some more time to be able to do some building on this. And with the amount of money that I have at the moment, that should give me enough to get quite a bit done. So I'm going to use these as foundation blocks and anything that's outside. And then I've got flooring style ones that I can use on the inside for that. Now, what I want to be able to do is have a door somewhere here. That should be nice. So, oh, that looks up. Is that open? Looks like I've got it reversed. So I almost want this lip on the inside. That looks more like inside thing, if that makes any sense. How does the placing on this work? And it did it again. Alright, let's try this again. Every time I move it, it ends up flipping around. Is this right? that work? I think that's probably going to be a close enough. That is a big door. That looks nice. Got open. I can drive through. Okay, let's start with that, and we'll build a frame around that. I'm gonna need some full blocks to kind of clean this up. But more importantly, I'm gonna need to get some half floor. Well, I think these are just like full blocks, and this is floor blocks. Okay, so building. I have almost $1 million. That would seem like a lot of money, but I'm probably about to burn through a lot of it. Okay, so how many of these things do we need? I'll go 25 at a time. Oh, let's go 50. That's 60 grand. I mean, I've got 4 of those. I don't know how many blocks that takes up. So this one's gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 4. But I mean, if it needs to turn around, I need a 5x5 space. This to turn around is a lot, because I mean, you gotta. And then there's that as well. Oh, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure how much room it's going to need to turn around, so there is that. Let's start by putting these guys down. Because after this, we'll make it at least space enough for one vehicle to come through here. Yeah, because after this, if I can put this in here, I'm gonna get the dozer down here and then clear out this land here and push it out of the way. And then if it builds up a little too much, I'll end up getting the loader in here and dig it out. So let's get the dozer over here, push some stuff out of the way, and start building some framework. I just really wish there was an easier way to move things. Especially these track vehicles. I mean, you can put it into your inventory and then redeploy it, but it just seems kind of cheaty. Oh, nope. I forgot the slope was too steep. So one of the things that I have learned, not just in playing, but in watching a another YouTuber that plays out of ore is that dozers don't like to go down forward on any type of grade easily. They just, the hitbox on the blades are just way too low. It's a lot lower than you think it is. So, if you're going down a hill, you need to go down a hill backwards. That's just the way it is. Alright, let's get this done. Now the cool thing is with the putting down the blocks, it gives you a limit that the vehicles like the dozer and that can't go through. Which means that it makes it a lot easier to dig flat spots out, because the no, I want rough concrete. Let's just do 100. It's a lot of money, but I'll probably need it. What was I saying? I don't remember. Yeah, so if you're wanting to do flat spots, extremely flat spots, blocks are your friend, because you put a block down, you put the blade down to an existing block, and you just keep pushing it. It'll help you level it out without actually having to fight with getting the angle right and everything like that. Which, I mean, there is, if you got the talent to be able to get the blade in the right spot, that you don't need to do that, but me, I'm not great with it, so I will gladly use any tool that will help me get what I need to do. I'd love to be able to get better, but sadly, my brain just doesn't always work that way. Plus, not like I play this game all the time. I had a lot more practice at it. Probably would be a lot better at it, but well, maybe if the YouTube career picks up, I doubt it, but maybe I'll be able to play video games all the time and get paid for it. But that's not the dream of every YouTuber, but well, at least game YouTubers. Because the ones that don't play games don't actually want to play games all day. Well, that's definitely a lot nicer. Not perfect, but I'll put a few more down. I don't know if this is going to give me enough to be able to bring some of the other vehicles in here or not. I'm definitely going to have to get the paver to clean this up, because that's a mess. I'm going to leave that for now. What? And let's start clearing out some of this space. That should be good there. And the one thing I don't know what I want to do on the inside is, do I want to clear this out and make it a full garage, or do I want to spread it out so that each of these has its own doorway? Considering this valley, I'm gonna say probably just keep the one door, and then just have parking spots, maybe. Because that's going to determine just how big this space is. Now, what I'm thinking is, probably having this be kind of a corridor, and then having parking spots on the left and right. It's so much easier to use this with the blocks down than it is to try and do it any other way. What else have we got? No, it's down here. Ooh, I almost had it there. There we go. All right. All right. And now that I'm thinking about it, I went and did all those measurements of each of those vehicles to kind of get a gauge on it, and now I can't even remember what it was that I ended up measuring. I'm gonna have to measure them all over again to see what kind of space I'm gonna end up needing on this. What? No, I guess that's just dirt. Thought maybe I'd hit another ore patch and end up wasting good ore on digging out a garage for this stuff. Well, I suppose I can use the dozer as my first vehicle to find a parking spot for, and then I can just actually use the dozer itself to measure. Probably a good idea. Looks like there's enough room to maneuver around with just the space that the door is going to end up taking up. So if I have a corridor of some sort there, I think that is probably way more space than I end up needing there. Let's get some more of these down. Right. There we go. So that is past where I need to go. So theoretically, that's as far as I end up needing to be able to build that out as a parking spot. Yeah, so I think that's probably good enough. So we'll build out the blocks to there. Oh. Looks like the 100 blocks that I thought was going to be way more than enough is not going to be more than enough. Right? No? There we go. And then the next batch of them is going to be these guys. And that's going to be on the outside of that. So I'm just going to need to clear that out a little bit more, and then we're good. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. I'm probably going to have to get the dozer in here. Dozer? No, I'm doing the dozer. I need the loader in here to clear out that space. Don't know if I've got enough there. Is this enough? Yeah, that's enough. So we're gonna put this set of blocks here. And then yes, I know I'm kind of cheating, but it's fine. All right. Ooh. I am now level 8. Sweet. One of these episodes, I should probably check to see what stuff I want to unlock next. And see what goals that I should work towards. But I think for now, my biggest thing is in building this garage, I should be able to have some fun trying out some new things and getting some new stuff going. Okay, so I'm gonna need some walls. So I don't know what the best way to do it is. I'm thinking I'll do a layer of concrete walls and then as a base. And then I'm gonna do steel walls beyond that. Gonna have enough money? Yep. Alright. So what I'm thinking is that this is gonna be like this. And then figure out which buttons I'm using. And steel wall like that. And then if I get some more money, get a little bit more creative and put some windows and other things in there. But I think for now, this should do well. Then the concrete is, whoops, what did I do? Nothing. Okay, good. Thought I clicked and put like things hanging in the air, which I do from time to time. All right, let's see what we got here. So we got that. And then this is the farthest that I'm going. Like that. So let's test this out and see how this goes. Yeah, that looks nice. And then as I build out farther, I'll end up getting a better gauge on what size of vehicles that I need, and then I can just expand out the outer walls as I get a longer vehicle so that it makes it look good. That's kind of weird. I think I had it dug in too deep. Alright. Let's get this going. Let's see if this works. Alright. Well, that's one wall done at least. So it's shaping up pretty nicely. Just don't know if I can get into the corners with this. Sideways. Digging in too deep on that. As you can see, putting these foundations down is so much easier to work with than it is to try and get the levels just perfect. As I get farther into this valley, cutting through this, I'm gonna end up having to get the loader in here. I know that, but for right now, we'll just try to get what we can done with the dozer and go from there. And I think at least with this, it's going to end up taking it. Oh, that's another thing that the dozer does that's weird, is if you don't get it quite right, the dirt that's stuck on the front of it ends up unloading underneath the dozer. All right. Well, I'm on a bit of a roll, but I have run out of time, so I'm just gonna get stuck on something currently. I'll do this here. I'll do one more pass here. And then I'm going to leave off this video. So I think I've gotten a good bunch done. That's starting to shape up nicely. Like I said, I'll as I get further in and I can get a little bit more money going, I'll we've got windows that we can put in, and I can put in supports and stuff like this as decoration. We got steel railings that can be placed. I can do a ceiling part with some of these roofs, but I can also do an upper floor with some of the ceiling stuff and the steel flooring. So that should look nice as well. At the very start, I just wanted to at least get a basic idea of what I was going to end up digging through and seeing how that goes. I've only got 4 vehicles, but the fleet will expand further. And eventually we'll end up having more and more vehicles of different types to be able to work with. This is just the basics setup for just getting started. But I wanted to at least have a nice spot to park these when we weren't using them. But that'll be it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. Want to keep up to date with the content, make sure to just subscribe. And one other thing, if you want to see me actually doing the digging, if that's not too boring with you, leave a comment, and I will make sure to either do a stream of when I'm digging, or to do a separate videos with me just digging, or if you want to see the digging as part of the building and everything else that I'm doing, that's fine as well. Just leave a comment and I'll try and tweak the content to see what you guys like. But that's it for now. Have a great rest of your day, and bye bye.